Tony Khan has called out WWE's predatory business practices. We've got a spoiler with the WWE title changing hands, and a top AEW name is exploring his options amid contract reports. Stay tuned for all the juicy details. So it's wrestling's a cutthroat business, isn't it? It's not really any surprise that companies that sort of operate in similar areas or similar spheres of influence or of similar sizes sometimes don't like to get along.
Yeah, I would say that's very spot on.
Even way back in the territory days, you'd have somebody going, you ran a town on the border, and they'd have a huge argument about it for 5 hours in some hotel in Vegas every year. But Tony Khan has sort of carried on this great tradition of wrestling by calling out WWE for its predatory business practices, both now and back in the 1980s with Jim Crockett Promotions. Yep. That's the bit that's tickling me the most. He's right, but it's the bit that's tickling me the most. Yeah. In a response to Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, who revealed that WWE have been supplying fake ratings, like false ratings of information to reporters to disparage AEW. Tony Khan said on Twitter, these are the same predatory business practices that Jim Crockett Promotions and many former wrestling territories faced in the 1980s. I'm grateful to all of you wrestling fans who watch AEW, and at AEW is here to stay.
I mean, he's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, it's bollocks. I'm sorry. You can't just be providing fake ratings to people, but show me a law that says they can't, right?
Yeah, well,
and this is it. You know, anything they do is going to be factored by McDivitt. It's going to be like to a point where it's like, you can do all of this and they can't complain at all. It's not technically illegal, and they're going to just do that, right?
They get around it, the legalities of it.
It's sketchy. It's not right. But
so this is from the Fast Nationals this week that WWE supposedly distributed to reporters, getting that information.
It was they said AEW had like 100,000 viewers.
It was 122,000 viewers. The actual number was a lot closer to 400,000, which I'm not sure if that's
just the live numbers,
for them. That I think that's the Fast National live.
You don't have like your pluses added to that. So.
Correct. So absolutely correct. Tony Khan should be calling out this tactic, because if it was the other way around, you know that WWE would have a cease and desist or something along those lines.
But it's one of those things where I think, again, it wouldn't be so much the WWE would cease and desist, because again, I think anything that either company would do would be completely legal. It'd just be the company would do exactly what Tony Khan's done, except they would do it in such a much more whiny way. They do, you know what they're like, but it's sort of, I think. It's part and parcel of the wrestling industry, unfortunately, that they're going to behave like this. But he's completely correct in that this is what Vince did to bully his way across the country and take over everything state by state.
Yeah, I'm glad that he has the platform to call that out. Yeah, you know, as much as people have favorites on either side, whether they prefer AEW or WWE or any other company. It's good that, it's good that you can have like AEW's owner being like, actually, here's the proof this isn't true, and it shouldn't be tribalistic. It should just be a case of, don't be a dick. You know, you've got your viewers. Don't be a dick and try and ruin the other company.
Don't just go particular don't go shoving somebody else's food off the table just because you've sat down.
Exactly. So completely fair. As much as WWE shouldn't be supplying Fast Nationals.
Well, keeping it with AEW, and this is some nice news here, as reported again by the Wrestling Observer newsletter, AEW are apparently in discussions with Ross and Marshall Von Erich, the sons of Kevin Von Erich. The brothers are former MLW World Tag Champions and have previously competed for Ring of Honor with a match at the Final Battle 2023 Zero Hour. Alongside this, they've also appeared on AEW TV before, and they teased recently that they would eventually be signing somewhere, but they were kind of keeping it close to the chest.
They've kept it very close to the chest, and there's been reports that they have been in discussion with both major companies, both WWE and AEW. I think AEW is a slightly better fit for them right now.
Yes.
And how they would be presented, where they would be situated on the card. What I get, though, for AEW, if they do sign, it's the Von Erichs.
It's the Von Erich family, right? And obviously, with everything that came following the Iron Claw, there's a lot of publicity in and around the Von Erich family and the future of the Von Erich family as well in the wrestling industry. So I think that, again, I just think AEW is a really nice landing spot. There's some great tag teams to mix it up with, and I think this could be exactly what they need, that big break right onto that national stage.
That's the thing. It's just getting from being an independent tag team onto a national stage and getting that more recognition. Yeah,
because the second that, all your grandmas will be going, Von Erichs, and you're targeting all of this, you're targeting a whole new demographic.
If they can bring Kevin
and then we'll do loads of Outlaw Mud Show, barbed wire, all the old stuff, coal miners glove matches.
If they
box
can
on a pole with like a stick in it. Sure.
That'd be fun. That would be a lot of fun. If they can get Kevin Von Erich signed to the company as well to come in with them, maybe in a manager's role.
Yeah, that would be
phenomenal.
phenomenal.
Get all those lapsed fans or the older generations being like, oh, I remember Kevin Von Erich. Especially
get him back in there for one more.
Considering they're doing some residency testing and going to markets maybe that they're not as used to.
It, right?
And going to markets where the Von Erichs are big.
If you go to an old territory and you can bring in somebody from the past or a continuation of said family from the past, you are potentially looking at a great little exchange there between generational wrestling fans.
Little boost in seats as well.
Yeah. Just moving to the other side of the fence now. This is a spoiler, so if you do want to avoid any spoilers, do skip ahead to the time on the screen right now. You got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now, WWE last night taped some multiple matches for their Twitter/X exclusive show Speed, didn't they?
They did indeed. This saw Andrade defeating Tommaso Ciampa to become the #1 contender for the WWE Speed Championship. Now, of course, this is a title that is defended on the exclusive Twitter show, which is Speed. Then during the second match of the tapings, now bear in mind they're short matches, so
under 3 minutes,
multiple matches. Andrade then faced Ricochet to become the new champion and won the super prestigious WWE Speed Championship. So he's now the champion.
I wonder what Will Ospreay's got to say about this.
He'll be appalled.
Yeah, he'll be like, oh, it's just disgusting. No, but
I'm hoping it means Ricochet's getting a push on a.
This is the thing, right? This is the thing. It's sort of like, well, what could this mean? Ricochet's contract's apparently up soon, it's like Ospreay's been teasing, like maybe we should continue it and do AEW or whatever. Like, so it's kind of.
I do feel bad
expecting Ricochet to do something more substantial within the company, though.
That's the thing,
the Speed belt.
I do feel sorry for Andrade because he's someone who likes to be used, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He likes to be used, as you would expect.
What better way to just thoroughly use somebody than to take them and put them in a position and just tell them to do something?
Have a match in 3 minutes.
Get out there. 3 minutes. Yeah.
I'm hoping that maybe...
You're from what? A Mexican royal wrestling fan? No. Well, 3 minutes. 3 minutes.
You get 3 minutes to show your stuff. Speaking
Humberto,
of,
get in there. Your royalty as well. There's too much royalty going on. Cody's royalty. Everybody's royalty.
We've gone from Von Erich royalty. We've got Andrade wrestling royalty, but we've got a little update on the head of the table on the Bloodline on SmackDown last night.
Yes.
Because... well, Solo Sikoa has been named as the new head of the table.
So Paul Heyman revealed that until Roman Reigns returns, Solo Sikoa is going to be sitting at the head of the table. And then alongside this, we got some extra double names tagged onto names here. Heyman gave new names for Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa. Tama is now going to be known as the right-hand man, Tama Tonga, while his brother's going to be the infamous Tonga Loa.
The right-hand man was the name that Jey Uso had, which this leads me to believe that when Roman does return, we will be getting that Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso reuniting with Roman as their tribal chief. I would
really like it if Roman just comes in and just sides with Solo.
He's
just like, no, I'm the leader again, and Solo's like, yeah, no bother. And then they just continue being horrible to Jay forever. Like,
there's no other development.
There's no reunification. There's no niceness. Even Rikishi comes in and just lays it in on his son.
Jacob Fatu, anyone that's got even a remote connection to the family just boos Jay. Yeah.
Well, on the point of older wrestling names, they're bringing up Rikishi, a name that's even older than that. Arn Anderson commenting on Busted Open Radio about the rumors about him returning to WWE to potentially work alongside Cody Rhodes. He, of course, said recently that he was happy to be taking time back to spend time with his son. But then there was sort of the gentle tease from Cody. But he said, I wonder what that was about. What was he setting me up for in that deal? I did hear what Rhodes said, and I was very humbled and appreciative, so he allowed me to have some fun on my way out, which I thought I was way past that. So I was very appreciative. I'm 65, but my liver is 127. I'm on short time, and I don't have a lot of time. Would I come back in the right situation for a short-term something with Cody? If anybody out there thinks that's a good idea, let me know. We don't know. There could be something, that would be something, because he and I have never had that conversation. We had a couple of texts back and forth, and it never came up. So I went, maybe that was just him testing the waters himself.
I would love to see a reunion between Arn Anderson and Cody Rhodes in WWE, having them come back, having Cody with him felt big in AEW. Like having them as a pair, I thought it was a great choice from AEW to have them together. And WWE is not shy when it comes to talent coming over from AEW and just doing what was working.
Yeah.
Put Arn back with Cody.
Well, Arn Anderson obviously has appeared on screen several times in several different iterations through WWE, and I think people are conditioned, as you said. People aren't stupid. They know that Arn was working with Cody in AEW. It did work. It was quite nice. I don't know if I want something like full on.
I don't think full time.
I would like something around like a big show. Like if we had Arn come in for like a major match to be, the Mickey to his Rocky or whatever.
When we I'm thinking of next WrestleMania, Cody versus Rock.
Get him the big laminates, and then you can sell the laminates with Cody's full moveset on it. Yeah,
Arn comes in to counteract the wise man behind the Rock, and then you've got Arn and Heyman.
Arn actually hops the guardrail, WrestleMania 17, Tommy Dreamer style.
Spinebusters Heyman
pops up with his Glock as Heyman's about to cost Cody.
Yes, that's what we need.
Probably the most exciting piece of news today that we're going to talk about right now. It wasn't something I was expecting to ever read. He's somebody I figured would be on lock wherever he was, to the point where nobody would ever let him escape. They put the golden handcuffs on him. But as reported earlier in the week by Lucha Libre Online, Pelter? Come on, Sam. Penta El Zero Miedo is set to become a free agent in August or September. In an update to Wrestling Observer newsletter, they state that at one point Penta was disgruntled by not being able to appear on AEW shows at the same time as CMLL talent. However, it's since appeared that these restrictions have loosened. Now, according to the report, when Khan believes that Penta will re-sign with AEW, Khan believes that Penta's going to re-sign with AEW, but others in the company have said he's looking at exploring his options, and he's thinking about buying the rights to the name so that should he go to WWE, he can take that gimmick with him.
I'm also, like you, quite surprised that he wouldn't. That he's not going to just stay with AEW, that he is looking at exploring his options. Of course, though, Tony Khan would be confident and believing that Penta would re-sign. He is someone who they have used, I would say, very, very well throughout his time.
We've got your brother.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right?
We've got your family.
We've got your family.
Yeah. So
you want to re-sign? You want to sign with them? Well, goodbye, Phoenix.
Yeah, Phoenix is gone.
Phoenix's mask. We're going to change it. We're going to change it, and we're going to ruin it.
Ruin his whole character.
It was just horrible.
Ruin it. Bullies him like the Bloodline.
Look, it makes sense. Like wrestling is in a position it's not been in years. We've got multiple major companies. You may as well, at the end of your contract, see what you can get, right? Because if somebody else thinks you're worth a lot more than the company you're working for, then you can go back to that company and go, hey, here's the deal, right? And I think a lot of people are going to be wanting to have a bit more control over their characters, a little bit more control over their creative. And I think this is something we're going to see more and more of, is people just shopping around. But at the same time, a lot of people might be surprised he doesn't own the rights to the gimmicks. Now, Pentagon is, I believe it was originally a AAA gimmick.
Yes, I think so.
But essentially, Pentagon was the mortal nemesis of Octagon, and it's so. I imagine it's all tied in still down there. It's why he was Pentagon Dark. Yep. On Lucha Underground. It's why he's Penta El Zero Miedo, but he was originally Pentagon Jr. So whether he'd be able to procure the rights to Pentagon Jr. in full, or whether it's just Penta El Zero Miedo, or whether he's got to license it, there's going to surely be a way. If it's lucrative enough, and if he has the financial means, the company will probably be like, you know what, right, you have rights to use it. We've seen it before, like Tiger Masks overseas, appearing in different companies while they're all sort of working at the same time. But it's one of those where I think, should he get that, he's infinitely worth a hell of a lot more.
That's the thing, and I think with that gimmick, I think WWE would have that interest in him. Yeah. I feel like he will. My gut is telling me he's going to stay with AEW. I just don't see him
got your brother
moving over. Yeah, exactly. I don't see him moving over to the WWE just in the coming months.
I can see it.
You think you can see it? You see it?
I can see him just like being one of those sort of shock, like, whoa. Like,
and he just shows up.
And he just shows up and he's immediately like a beast.
Let us know in the comments below if you think Pentagon is going to leave.
Send him to Shawn Michaels,
Yeah, Sean will have a great time.
Send him to NXT.
He is cooking. Yeah, he knows what to do with him.
But anyway, that's it for your second dose of lovely bumper weekend wrestling news. We may be back later on if anything else does break, but in the meantime, keep it with us. The podcast is up on the channel. We've got plenty of other content coming throughout the weekend. So yeah,
live reactions to
live
NXT
reactions to
Battleground tomorrow night.
Of course,
it's the big one. Jordan Grace is challenging for that NXT Women's Championship. I can't believe we've got TNA roster member on a WWE PLE.
6 figures.
That's on tomorrow night at I think twitch.tv, youtube.com, one of the two. It's on the channel. Check it out.